You can tell clearly that my math skills were not very sharp at the time of that. If you took 5 times 52, you need 5 pounds extra a week for over 52 weeks, that would be 260 pounds, not 100. So Jeff's car math is not nearly as good as his training information. How hard should you train session to session? I think a lot of that boils down very quickly to what is your goal? Is the lifting itself the primary thing that you're doing? Or do you have other eggs in the basket, so to speak? You know, for people that are training in the MMA space, you know, your training is not, that you do in the weight room is not your primary emphasis. You need to treat that as a separate adjunct to what you're doing in the gym to get the results that you want to be able to knock people out or submit them. If you're an older guy like me, you also need to consider what toll does your life take. Do you have children? Do you have a spouse that needs your attention? Do you have a job that you work? Do you have multiple jobs that you work? Or maybe you just sit at home and you're a YouTube influencer and that's your primary thing, and you get up and you do whatever you feel like every day, what time you feel like, and you fall into a schedule and your training is part of that schedule. And for those are two different instances. If you're a YouTube influencer, my suggestion to you is train in that 8 to 10 range in terms of effort. 10 being maximal, 8 being pretty hard, 9 being, damn, if I do a little bit more, it's going to be a little bit impossible, and 10, if I do anything else, I'm dead. You know, in that 8 to 10 range. Where if you're a guy like me that's, you know, you've got multiple kids, and you say a spouse, multiple jobs, that 6 to 8 range is pretty good from an intensity standpoint, as long as you keep stacking wins from a day-to-day basis. Same goes for if you're training for a sport. Your sport like MMA, like your job again is to submit and knock people out. So why would you give a 10 effort in the weight room when you don't have to? You should be looking for progress every week. 5 pounds of progress each week on a lift. Say you begin with a 135 pound bench, and there are 52 weeks to the year. 52 times 10 is 1,000. It's 100. You end up with a 325 bench, you know, sometime in the next year. That's pretty damn impressive. You'll be able to put 100 pounds on your bench or your squat or your deadlift over a course of a year, just aiming for 5 extra pounds a week. You know, these are things that you need to consider. Really, this is one of those things where I think people need to dig deep. They need to dig deep and find their why. Like, why are you training? For me, I train so I'm not a complete fat slob and I can eat a little bit more food. I train to be a model for the kids that I train at the school. I train to show my own boys that if you work hard at something, that you can achieve it. That's my why. So what's yours? Leave a comment down below and let me know.